Amanda Caldron. I'm with Patriot Canine Training and Services, LLC from Tennessee. I'm just gonna be demonstrating some basic stuff that I would start with a puppy, just helping establish a good communication system and developing a good relationship. So I'll be charging the clicker and then showing him some things that he can do amidst that clicker engagement. So this is the beginning of kind of your lure-based games that will help with some muscle memory and some rear end awareness. But teaching him to follow a hand is really, really important for luring games. But for now, it's just to develop a higher satisfaction in the game of loading the clicker. So you'll start to see as he gets more and more frustrated and has to work for it a little bit more, you'll see as it's presented, he'll usually want to wag his tail a little bit more, he'll get more playful. And now he should have an idea, after lots of reps of this, hearing the clicker and receiving the treat, he should understand that hearing the click means something good is coming. So I didn't have to guide him or help him into a sit. He sat on his own naturally, and I was able to click and reward that. So I'm a big fan of creating a communication system before I name behaviors. So rather than allowing him to think that he can just get up on his command or on his own, I'll go free. And he doesn't know what free means, but over time, he'll start to understand it. Ooh, puppy! Because he hit that and he didn't show aversion to it. I'll do that. And I like it because dogs are gonna eventually sit down, they're gonna lay down, they're gonna follow you. So you can reward that and mark that behavior that you like, that they're demonstrating it all on their own. So he looked in there and then looked back at me. Good job, buddy. So I'm a big fan of self-discovery. So he didn't see me throw it in there. So like he's gonna go discover some toys. So the fact that I clicked and he didn't turn around says that it's not charged enough yet. He doesn't understand it. You'll know when it's charged enough because when you click, the dog will have a very exciting response to it. So he hears that. That's another reinforcer that people fail to think about is if you're always reaching in your bag first or your pockets first, then they're not listening out for this. They're listening for that cue. So that's something that I try and show them in the beginning, like just because my hand's there doesn't mean you're gonna get anything. So he sat. So I'm a big one. Attitude has to be prepped and ready to really gain the most of it, to really maximize your session. Good job. And then if I wait, did a puppy, did a puppy, oh, the puppy, oh, did a puppy, free. It's right there, go get it.
So even if I was to like house training, potty training, let them go to the back door, use the clicker.
Yep, you can use the click and then you can either treat and then open the door or open the door and then treat, regardless of what you do. Yep, and I'm a big fan of even outside while they're going to the bathroom, I just don't click as soon as they start. You wanna wait till they're finished. Otherwise, you'll see as they learn the clicker, they'll stop going to the bathroom completely just to come get their reward. So you wanna wait to the very end. So this is the same way that I would condition their name. I usually do like a whistle and I say their name. Good. So I'll show him when he comes around here, good things happen, but I'm not trying to coax him to go in. So if he uses his nose a little bit, he'll discover that there's food in there. But because there's other naturally gratifying things, good job, kid. So I'll bring him to the entryway because he's still a baby. But he's learning that something good happens right here. And naturally, if you do this over reps and reps, by the end of the day, he would learn how to go in and out and all that fun jazz. His nose will take over and he'll go, oh man, I smell that. So he smells it. He just hasn't learned how to go in there. And I believe in crate training a dog like this over just kind of throwing them in there and giving them a Kong or something. That's a fast way. It is easy, but I like dogs to make decisions. I'm a big one for choice-based training. So he's working it out on his own. And again, I believe that this makes more confident dogs. So I'm not gonna click because I don't want him thinking that it's to come back to me. So I'm gonna wait till he's all the way in, ideally, and then I would click and then reach in to feed him in there versus expecting him to come out. But I don't think he would even understand just yet because it's still so new. Oh, you got it, you're a good boy, you did it. You did things, good job, buddy.
So like teaching him to go to the back door with the clicker and the reward when he gets outside after his business. He's gonna, every time he gets to the point he needs to use the restroom, he's gonna
Good job, buddy.
He'll learn to just walk that way.
Yeah, and I'm a big one for creating structure and certain procedures of what we do for each activity that we do. So this way it becomes very, very clear for the dog what their expectations are. So this time, this is a very contextual exercise. The dog sees the crate, they go, oh, I wanna go near this crate versus I wanna take off.
Gotcha.
Because they associate it with something negative or, so. Puppy! Puppy! Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job. And I'd imagine he's been fed and if they're only eating like this, then you're gonna see that drive for that interaction and that drive for that food to go way up. So at that time I helped him in a little bit because he was getting a little distracted. And this is why it's also really important that when you're working with a young dog, you wanna start in kind of a sterile environment because if they're able to get gratifying input elsewhere, they're going to not wanna work as hard for you. So he heard it. Good job. So I'll just kind of toss a little bit in. Yeah, good job, buddy. And then this is when I start to show things like this is happening, but I'm not forcing them to stay in there because that creates a lot of anxiety early on. But naturally, a lot of us do that. Like, oh, get in there, get over it. You're gonna throw a temper tantrum. They learn that doesn't work and that's fine too. But depending on the dog and what your end result or end goal is, you want them very, very operant and you want them choosing good behaviors versus restraining them and expecting them to enjoy something. So if he goes back in there, I'll give him some more. So that time he touched that. I like that though. It becomes a game versus this is something scary. A lot of dogs, a lot of young dogs, they touch something, it moves, they get very uncertain. So because this is a puppy, we're gonna make it very, very short and sweet and simple. This would be the end of it. Good job. Yeah, you're a puppy, you're a puppy.
So utilizing this at home is a very, very good thing to do.
Absolutely. Take it everywhere. Take your clicker everywhere. Again, you can have conversations, you can be on the phone, you can do whatever else that you're trying to do, and it's so much easier. So he's turned around completely in there right now, and I'll show him that just because it's closed doesn't mean anything bad. It means good things come. And then this is again free. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything yet, but the more that he does it, he'll start to realize everything starts and stops with us. And he'll look to us for those little contextual games. So like right now, he's he'll continue doing this and expecting treats. So once I know I'm done with something, I go, okay, it's done. And so now, next time he sees it, it's a game to him. So I approach everything like it's a fun game.